Now, I want to tell you a story. My name is Coach Michael Burt, and I do believe a couple things. And I want to see if you and I are in agreement. I believe everybody needs a good coach in their life. How many of you have had a good coach in your life? I believe a good coach can change your whole life. And I'm going to tell you a story how coaches have changed my life. I believe those that have a coach earn 3 and 4 times the amount of money than those that don't have a coach. And what I want to talk about today was one of my best-selling books. I believe in attracting opportunity versus chasing opportunity. Are we in agreement with each other? 6 years old, I remember this. I was raised by a single mother who had me when she was 16 years old. We grew up in a small town called Woodbury, Tennessee. And I remember my mother early in life working 2 and 3 jobs. And I remember spending lots of time with my grandparents and my aunts and uncles and friends. And many times my mother would take me down to the local baseball field because that was a cheap babysitting service, right? And I would stay down at that local baseball field literally for hours and hours and hours. And one coach named Mickey Vinson, a female coach coaching Little League baseball, would tend to me and spend time with me and feed me and watch over me. And I began to have a cycle that I'm gonna talk about today that you need to become a person of interest in the world. I began to have a huge revelation. So I want you to think about this. When you're sharing a message with people, there is a cycle to sharing that message. Number one, it starts with you've had a huge revelation about something. That huge revelation is an aha. It's a big moment. It's a moment that changes your life. It's a story of origin. It takes you back. And my revelation was a good coach can change your whole life because I watched how those coaches tended to other people's kids. I watched how they cared for them. I watched how they watched after them. I watched how they took care of them. And I had a revelation at 6 years old. One of these days I want to be a great coach. And that woman affirmed and validated me. See, as leaders here today, my definition of leadership is affirming and validating the worth and potential in another person in so clear a way that they begin to see it in their own self. How many of you got to where you are today because someone affirmed and validated your potential in such a way you begin to see it in your own self? Is that leadership, yes or no? So that woman, so I had this big revelation, a good coach can change your life. And here's what she said to me: son, one of these days, you're gonna be a great coach. 6 years old. Now this is important to the story because we have big revelation. As a result of our revelation, we now have conviction. And conviction is a deep-seated belief that our product and service can get another person to a better place in their life. Okay, you've ever heard Zig Ziglar say you can't sell the cookware if you don't buy the cookware, right? Well, you've bought the cookware here, haven't you? Personal transformation. A person of interest cannot give away what they don't possess. You can't give me knowledge if you don't have it. You can't give me skill if you don't have it. You can't give me desire if you don't have it. You can't give me confidence if you don't have it. You have to possess it, internalize it, master it, then share it with other people. So first we have big revelation. My revelation happened at 6 years old. A good coach can change a person's life. Because of that revelation, I then have conviction. Because of that conviction, I am now willing to go all over the world to share that message. Now I want you to think about your cycle. When did you have a revelation?